Have you ever witnessed a quiet roadside stop turn into a dramatic standoff that no one saw coming, only to learn that kindness and courage can outshine even the darkest intentions? Welcome to Motivation for Success, where we bring you powerful true-to-life stories that remind us how empathy and determination can change destinies. If you don't want to miss more inspiring narratives like this, be sure to subscribe before diving in. Today's account revolves around Keanu Reeves, famed for his calm demeanor both on and off screen, who inadvertently becomes a protector when injustice rears its head. Stay with us until the end to see how one simple act of standing up for what's right can transform an entire community. Keanu Reeves had been driving for hours through rolling hills, each turn of the winding highway bringing a new breathtaking view of sunlit fields and distant mountains. He felt a mix of fatigue and quiet contentment. The road, for him, had always been a place to clear his mind. As evening approached, the sky turned golden, casting long shadows across the asphalt. Seeking a quick break, he spotted a lone gas station near an otherwise empty stretch of countryside. A neon sign flickered overhead, a bit worn but still promising fuel, snacks, and a short respite from the drive. He pulled his vintage sedan into the small lot, stepping out into the warm, late afternoon air. Crisp leaves rustled underfoot, and a gentle breeze hinted at cooler nighttime temperatures on the horizon. At first glance, the place appeared ordinary, a single pump, a modest convenience store with a few tired posters in the window, and a rusted ice machine by the door. Yet, from the moment he arrived, a sense of anticipation pulsed through the air, as if the stage were being set for something far beyond a simple fuel stop. Reeves clicked open the fuel cap, inserted the nozzle, and began filling his tank. A handful of locals milled about, each glancing at him curiously, unsure if their eyes deceived them. Was this the Keanu Reeves, the actor famous for his calm presence and philanthropic spirit? One by one, they drifted closer, phones in hand, wanting to see if this was real. Noticing their hesitation, Reeves greeted them with a friendly nod and a soft smile. Soon, several approached for pictures, hushed excitement spreading among them. Among the onlookers stood a young boy named Adam. He was around 12, wide-eyed, and wearing a simple hoodie that looked a bit too big for him. Adam was especially eager, grasping a small homemade sign that read, "You inspire me, Keanu," in bold marker. Overcoming his shyness, Adam approached, sign trembling slightly in his hands. "You're Keanu Reeves, right?" he asked in a soft voice. Reeves, finishing at the pump, turned toward the boy. "That's me," he replied gently. "And who might you be?" Adam blushed, stammering, "I'm Adam, sir, and you're my hero. You're always so chill, so kind. It's just amazing." A warm smile lit Reeves's face. "Thanks, Adam. You mind if I sign that sign you made?" Adam nodded, eyes shining. As Reeves penned his autograph, he noticed how carefully the boy had drawn the lettering, each letter in bright ink. It reminded him that kindness, no matter how small, can embolden someone else's dreams. Yet, not everyone present basked in this congenial atmosphere. Parked along the far corner, engines idling, waited a group calling themselves the Iron Claws. They were bikers dressed in leather, patches, and chains, exuding a distinct mix of authority and intimidation. Their leader, a burly man known as Ryder, sat astride a matte black motorcycle. A stylized hawk insignia glimmered on his jacket. Ryder had spent years cultivating fear around every small town he and his crew visited. To him, respect was earned through intimidation. He watched the quietly forming crowd around Reeves and sneered. "Look at that Hollywood star, acting like some hometown hero," Ryder muttered to one of his gang members, a wiry figure called Gage. "People swoon, but I bet he can't handle real conflict. That calm persona? Just an act." Gage nodded, smirking. "Never trust a man who doesn't need to posture, right?" With a silent command from Ryder's glare, the Iron Claws revved their bikes and rode slowly toward the gas station entrance. Dust swirled around their tires as they parked near the crowd, the atmosphere shifting abruptly. The fans who had been snapping selfies with Reeves began to sense danger. Frowns replaced friendly smiles, phone cameras lowered, and a hush fell over the gas station lot. Ryder dismounted, letting his boots crunch loudly on the gravel as he approached. He took a quick glance at Reeves before scanning the small gathering, eyes settling on Adam with a mocking smirk. Reeves, mid-conversation with a local mechanic, felt the shift in energy instantly. He turned just in time to see Ryder and his entourage forming a semicircle around them. "What's going on?" Adam asked, voice trembling slightly as he edged closer to Reeves. Others stepped back uncertainly, unsure whether to stay or flee. Reeves noticed Adam's unease. He placed a reassuring hand on the boy's shoulder. Ryder cleared his throat, loud and confrontational. "You're Keanu Reeves, yeah." His tone oozed contempt. "Heard you're big on being calm, saving folks in trouble. Is that your shtick?" Reeves held the biker's gaze. "I try to be a decent person, if that's what you mean," he replied quietly. Though polite, his words carried an unmistakable firmness. "We all just want to get along here." Ryder's lip curled in a sneer. "Getting along is for the weak," he spat. "Some of us prefer the real world, where tough wins. I see you signing autographs for these kids. Maybe you're tough in a movie, but how about real life?" Adam tried to muster courage. "He is strong, you'll see," he said, voice quivering but resolute. That's all it took for Ryder to round on the boy. "You gotta be kidding. A scrawny kid telling me who's strong or not. I don't think so." His hand rose as if to push Adam aside. Reeves responded instantly, stepping between them. Calm but unwavering, he locked eyes with Ryder. "That's enough. Why don't we keep the peace? There's no need to scare anyone here." Ryder's crew snickered. Gage toyed with a chain, letting the metallic clang break the tense silence. Another member kicked at the dirt. The message was clear: they wanted trouble. Without warning, one of the iron claws lunged. A heavy-set man named Rocco swung a chain at Reeves, hoping to startle him. Instinct honed from years of training took over. Reeves dodged the blow with fluid grace, grabbing the chain mid-swing and yanking it free from Rocco's grip. The crowd gasped at Reeves's speed. Adam's eyes shone with awe. Shaken but not discouraged, Rocco staggered back. The rest of the bikers tensed, unsure whether to swarm or wait for Ryder's order. Ryder didn't hesitate. "Show this pretender what real force looks like," he snarled. One after another, members of the Iron Claws rushed forward. Reeves stayed composed, parrying each blow methodically. He moved with precision, no wasted energy, no flourish, just raw efficiency. A punch from the left, he sidestepped. A pipe swung from the right, he blocked with an open palm before delivering a swift elbow to the attacker's chest. In seconds, two bikers went down, groaning on the asphalt. Observing from the sidelines, Adam trembled, not with fear, but with the excitement of seeing his hero stand strong. A chorus of anxious whispers rippled through the small crowd. Some clutched phones, half hiding, half recording. The mother of a little girl urged her child to stay back, while a handful of truckers from across the lot looked on, wide-eyed. Inadvertently, they formed a ring around Reeves and the gang, as though it were a makeshift arena. Dust from the scuffle swirled underfoot. A few neon lights above the convenience store flickered, illuminating the scene like a grim stage. The tension was palpable. How long could Reeves keep this up without anyone, especially Adam, getting hurt? A wiry biker lunged, brandishing a broken bottle. Reeves disarmed him with a smooth disarm technique, twisting his wrist gently but firmly. Another advanced, aiming a swift kick. Reeves blocked, then pivoted behind him, delivering a controlled blow to the back. Despite their numbers, the bikers weren't used to facing someone who combined agility with unyielding resolve. Frustration glinted in their eyes, especially in Ryder's. "Is that all you got?" Ryder growled, stepping forward. He decided to test Reeves personally, brandishing a small blade as he closed the gap. Fear sparked in the crowd. Adam blurted, "Be careful," but Reeves simply exhaled, bracing himself. "Put that down," Reeves said softly. "There's no need for violence." Ryder sneered. "Says the man who's dropping my crew like flies." Nonetheless, he lunged in a flurry of aggression, aiming the blade toward Reeves's midsection. Reeves deftly sidestepped, grasped Ryder's wrist, and twisted. The knife clattered to the ground. Without pause, Reeves applied gentle pressure on the man's arm, forcing him off balance, then giving him a light push to the side. Ryder stumbled, cursing under his breath, deeply ashamed that his move had failed. Breathing heavily, Ryder stared at Reeves, anger warring with disbelief. Meanwhile, other bikers lay scattered around the lot, some nursing bruises, others struggling to stand. The entire confrontation had lasted mere minutes, yet it felt like an eternity. A hush fell, broken only by the quiet hum of the overhead fluorescent sign and the labored breathing of those who tried to overpower Reeves. Adam piped up from behind the improvised ring of spectators, "You're incredible, Keanu." The boy's voice, though small, carried clear admiration. Ryder's cheeks reddened. "You messing with me, boy?" he roared, trying to regain intimidation by turning on Adam. But Reeves pivoted to stand between them once more. "That's enough," Reeves warned, "no theatrics this time, just solid authority. These people did nothing wrong. Let them be." The tension hovered, balanced on a knife's edge. Would the Iron Claws retreat or regroup? A battered Rocco tried to rise but promptly sank back down with a groan, evidently disinclined for another round. A biker with an eye swelling muttered, "I've had enough, Ryder. Let's cut our losses." Gage nodded, eyeing the group around them warily. Faced with diminishing morale, Ryder's bravado dimmed. He spat on the ground in defiance, cursing under his breath, then swept his gaze over the battered ring of men. "Fine," he snapped, stepping away. "We'll remember this. Reeves. Don't think we won't." Keanu Reeves let out a measured breath. "Do what you must. But let these folks be," he replied, voice still calm. One by one, the Iron Claws trudged back to their bikes. Engines rumbled to life with resentful ferocity. The crowd parted as they lurched out of the lot, leaving behind a swirl of dust and a collective exhale of relief. Standing amid fallen wrenches and scattered debris, Reeves surveyed the gas station, ensuring no bystander was seriously hurt. A hush lingered. Then applause and cheers erupted from the assembled onlookers, truck drivers, travelers, townspeople, everyone who had witnessed the showdown. Adam dashed across the gravel and nearly collided with Reeves, eyes brimming with gratitude. "That was, you saved me, you saved all of us." The boy's voice trembled, caught between excitement and lingering fear. Reeves's features softened into a reassuring smile. He rested a hand on Adam's shoulder. "I just did what needed to be done. Are you all right?" Adam nodded, glancing down at the homemade sign he still clutched. "I'm fine. Better than fine. You're a real hero, you know that." Reeves shook his head modestly. "I appreciate your words, but a hero is just someone who does what's right when it counts. You or anyone here would do the same if pushed, I believe." At that point, several people pressed forward to thank Reeves personally, some wanting a handshake, others a selfie. In the midst of this, the local store owner, a man named Gray, approached, tipping his baseball cap. "You saved my business from serious trouble tonight," he said, voice thick with relief. "Those bikers have been menacing these parts for months, but I've never seen them put in their place like that." Reeves only nodded quietly. "I was just passing through." Another man, perhaps a traveling salesman, chimed in. "You're just passing through, yet you jump to protect folks you don't even know. That's worth a lot, man. As Gray handed Reeves a bottle of cold water, Adam's mother, who'd been watching protectively from the sidelines, approached with misty eyes. Thank you for stepping in. That boy's father passed away last year, and he's been searching for signs that good people still exist. She paused, emotion making her voice tremble. You gave him that sign. More than you know. Reeves nodded earnestly. He thanked her in return, acknowledging how fragile life can be and how any of us might need a defender at a vulnerable moment. In the distance, the last echoes of the Iron Claw's roaring engines faded into the night, a signal that immediate danger had indeed passed. With the confrontation finished, the station's lights flickered softly, revealing a calmer night. The starry sky overhead lent a sense of serenity to what had moments earlier been a scene of chaos. People lingered, uncertain if they should return to their business or remain near Reeves, whose aura had shifted from fierce guardian to gentle presence. Adam, still brimming with excitement, asked, Mr. Reeves, do you ever get scared, like, during that fight? He fidgeted with the edges of his sign, an earnest look in his eyes. Reeves considered, then answered carefully, fear is normal. You just can't let it freeze you. The key is to stay focused on what's right, protecting yourself and others if you can. Then he quirked a small smile. And if you can avoid fighting, it's often best to do so. Throughout the conversation, Adam listened with rapt attention, as though each word were a building block for the person he aspired to become. Around them, the audience grew, some wanting to glean wisdom from Reeves, others simply drawn to the calm security in his manner. Several local townspeople soon made calls to law enforcement. If the Iron Claws had been harassing other locals, this event might serve as the impetus for fresh investigations. If a police officer had been around to witness the assault, arrests might already have been made. But with no immediate law presence, it was on the bystanders' testimonies to hold the gang accountable. People exchanged phone numbers, determined to stand unified against intimidation. One older gentleman approached Reeves, tipping an old fedora. I've seen a lot in my day, he said, voice raspy with age. But the way you kept your cool out there, that's something special. Reminds me that there's always a choice not to escalate violence. Appreciate what you did for us. Keanu Reeves offered him a humble nod in thanks. Sometimes calm can de-escalate a situation before it spirals too far. Adam piped in, right, Mr. Reeves? Like how you hardly said a word, but still protected everyone. Precisely, Reeves replied softly, gazing down at the boy. Words matter, but so does presence. If you choose calmness, even in chaos, it can steer things to a safer place. A sense of community blossomed momentarily in that small gas station lot. Strangers chatted as though old friends, sharing relief, recounting the tension. People realized how easily they'd united around a man they recognized from films, who, ironically, had ended up saving them in real life. The line between everyday folks and a celebrity felt blurred, replaced by a sense of solidarity born from crisis. Perhaps the largest takeaway was that courage and kindness can bloom under the most unlikely circumstances. With his presence, Reeves revealed that heroism needn't be grandstanding or aggression, it can be measured restraint and readiness to act for others. In a quiet corner near the convenience store, a traveling blogger typed frantically on a laptop, capturing the story's details, wanting to post it online. Meanwhile, a truck driver recounted the fight to a friend via phone, voice crackling with excitement. And Adam? The boy wore a confident grin that had replaced earlier timidness. Holding his sign carefully, now also signed by Keanu Reeves, he looked at Reeves with the kind of reverence once only reserved for fictional idols. But he'd just witnessed a real-life demonstration of bravery, and it changed his perspective. No longer was it a mere pipe dream to stand up for goodness, he had seen how it played out in reality. As the chatter began to subside and normal routines attempted to resume, Reeves realized the crowd had started forming a line, each wanting a quick moment with him. He obliged them patiently, offering handshakes, polite conversation, and even some heartfelt advice when asked. He was careful to emphasize that nobody should go out seeking fights, but that defending the vulnerable is something each of us can do in our own ways, calling for help, stepping in verbally, or simply offering solace to someone afraid. When at last the line ebbed, Reeves excused himself to check on his car, a subtle way to signal he was about to leave. The gathered folks parted for him with grateful nods and murmurs of thanks. Adam, lingering near the passenger door, approached shyly. "Thank you again," Adam said. You're everything I thought you'd be." Reeves smiled, placing a gentle hand on the boy's shoulder. "Don't forget, you can be a protector in your own right, too. Doesn't take special training, just a caring heart and the willingness to help." The boy's eyes lit up, and he stepped back with a new sense of purpose. Adam's mother, standing a few feet away, gave Reeves a grateful nod, tears brimming. With a final wave to the gas station crowd, Reeves slid into the driver's seat of his sedan. He started the engine, the comforting purr suggesting it was ready to finish the journey. He paused momentarily, scanning the faces, old, young, and in between, etched with relief and quiet admiration. In that moment, he recalled a line from a speech that Barron Trump had once given, emphasizing that small acts of kindness can bridge vast divides. That notion felt particularly relevant now. He pulled onto the highway, headlights cutting through the dusk. As the station's neon sign disappeared in his rearview mirror, he couldn't help but reflect on the night's events. A simple stop had turned life-threatening for some, but together, they overcame it. The realization settled in that no matter how chaotic life can get, compassion and determination can indeed stand firm, pushing back the shadows. Despite the adrenaline still humming in his veins, an overriding sense of peace came from knowing he had done something meaningful. For all his humility, Reeves recognized that such experiences reminded him how fragile and precious life is, and how a single choice to help can resonate far beyond that moment. Reflecting on it all, a group of bikers tried to spread fear, but unity and calm leadership put an end to their intimidation. People came together in an otherwise unremarkable location to witness an extraordinary show of empathy and courage. And a young boy named Adam walked away with renewed faith in heroes, real, tangible heroes who guard the helpless rather than merely projecting bravado. For everyone who watched the scene unfold, it was a stark reminder that we, too, can be protectors in everyday life. We may not be as agile or practiced as Keanu Reeves, nor do we typically face roving biker gangs, but we can ensure that no one around us feels threatened or alone. From the older gentleman who felt encouraged to stand up for his neighbors, to Adam's mother who discovered compassion still exists, each left with a story of hope. That's how simple acts create ripples of positivity across entire communities. So, think about your own life. Have you ever remained silent when someone was bullied or intimidated, afraid to step in? Or have you encountered a moment where your calm, measured actions shifted a tense situation? This story teaches us that our individual capacity for empathy and bravery is greater than we might suspect. By quietly standing for what's right, we can move from fearful bystanders to catalysts of transformation. If this story moved you, consider spreading kindness today. Maybe that means offering to help a neighbor carry groceries, giving a ride to a friend in need, or simply sharing a smile with a stranger who looks down. And of course, if you haven't already, subscribe to Motivation for Success for more real-life accounts that reveal the power of compassion and resilience. After all, the lesson here is that any one of us can be the Keanu Reeves in someone else's story, a calm presence, a protective force, a reminder that good hearts still dwell among us, ready to stand firm when it matters most.